Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in Grand Colony in Nigeria. I remain your elder statesperson, Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochano, coming your way this day, the 5th day of August 2022. I am coming your way in the capacity of an elder statesperson. I love you all as my children in this colony. And for the past few days, I have been hearing some certain things. I have tried to hold myself, but it has reached a time that I have to speak. There are so many insinuations that have been trending on the social media concerning Theobarth Global Foundation for the past few days, of which several people have appealed to me to say something before they give credence to them, most especially since they know that mischief makers of different makes abound. A good number of subscribers wouldn't give in to anybody, to anything anybody might have to say except the secure authentication from my end. Being quite aware of this, I confer not with flesh and blood to live above bird. However, I usually take my time to get enough of such insinuations before I come forward to clear them. Some of such insinuations that have kept people worried for the past few days are as follows. Number one, that the federal government has hijacked the disbursement of Theobarth's grant. 2, abnormal call for prayer for our benefactor, Apostle Theo Ebonyi, is suggestive that all is not well with him. Some said he has been kidnapped. Some said he is under attack of various kinds. Number 3, that people gathered at Theobarth's office celebrating for federal government lifting of ban on Theobarth Global Foundation and disbursement would kick off from Monday. These are so many things that have been trending on social media, and so many people have appealed to me, please speak, elder, please speak. Well, this morning you will have your day. Point number 1, my comment on point number 1. We all know that the head of government in Nigeria may not be aware of everything that is going on. And so errand boys may attempt to employ some technicalities to some people's rights and privileges, but not in the open broad daylight, as in hijacking disbursement of Theobarth Global Foundation grant to beneficiaries. They may employ their gimmicks on the journey to disbursement, but not that point of disbursement. Not to the end that they will try to hijack disbursement, but not that the disbursement in itself would be done by the federal government. It's out of point. It's not even reasonable. How can an individual go and secure grant? Then the federal government will now say, okay, you are not the one to disburse the grant, that I am the one to disburse the grant. Does it follow? No. But I'm actually saying that it won't follow. The errand boys, the various units of government may decide to frustrate the benefactor in the processes that he goes through, but not to the end that they will say, okay, you are not the one to disburse again. We are the one to disburse. No matter the strategy they employ, it doesn't work in that way. And I don't know why a lot of us who claim to be educated will be tilted by a little thing. How is it possible for federal government to say, okay, Theo, you went and brought this grant. You are not the one to disburse again. I am the one to disburse. That can never happen. And I would like you to be so much aware of that. And we are also aware of the fact that we are in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. Let me give you an example of FIFA officiation. When there is a World Cup to be officiated by a FIFA body, do you know that the referee can decide to take bribe to do whatever he wants to do? Yes, of course. When the players are on the pitch, they are under the commands of the referee. The referee may decide to blow a penalty when it is not a penalty, even if VAR calls his attention and he goes and views the scene again, he may decide not to blow the penalty. Yes. Maybe if he compares what he is going to get by doing that rubbish as against the punishment that will be meted on him by FIFA when he finishes officiating, he may decide still to give blind eyes to what is going on. That is what happens to the various units of government in Nigeria. It may not be that Buhari is aware of everything that is happening. He has people at various units of operation, and those people may decide to do something in a wrong way. They may decide to stress you beyond the normal and the rest of them. If they do that and they punish the process from sailing through on time, even if the federal government is coming to punish them, they may not feel the brunt of the punishment, seeing what they are going to get from the other end. So many people are like that. And in this grant process, I want you to know that there are several people at the various units of operation that may decide to create unnecessary bottlenecks to the processes unknown to the head of government. That is what I would like you to do. And that is the much that could be done, not to the extent that this disbursement is not going to be done by you, but it is we that are going to do it. And anything we want to give, that is what we give. Please, I would like you to disabuse your mind from that. Point number 2. Calls for prayer, and so many people, when there are calls for prayer, they begin to insinuate, oh, is something abnormal happening? Look, let me tell you, Theobarth Global Foundation is such a gigantic project that demands prayer without ceasing until it is finally fulfilled. As it is obvious, no one since the history of Nigeria has ever done a project of this kind, and so deserves abnormal prayer patterns for its execution. When you see prayer calls or calls for prayer on various platforms, then people begin to wonder what is happening. Is anything going on? And the rest of them. Now, let me tell you, even if something is not going on, even if you don't have an idea that something is not going on, how do you look at what is coming your way? How do you look at it? How do you look at it? What is coming your way can jack some people up to millions. People who have never gotten hundreds of thousands of naira, they will become millionaires. There are some people that will become billionaires. There are some people that will become trillionaires. How do you look at this? Then would you now sit down at an end and say, okay, yes, there should be something abnormal happening before we go into praying? This thing that is coming your way, is it not already abnormal? As I speak to you, as some of you believe that this is possible, several others don't. They don't believe that this is possible. And as they don't believe that this is possible, and you believe that it is possible, then backing it up with prayer, will it be a big deal? Will it be a big deal? So calling for prayers from various ends is as a result of people who know the enormity of this thing that is coming your way, that when it hits you, you will no longer remain the same. And that thing that will come to hit you, that you will no longer remain the same, that you will no longer know poverty in your life as a sensible person, it demands prayer in an abnormal pattern. Point number 3. There are so many people who come up to the platform and they begin to see anything at all that they feel like saying. And there was even somebody who came and gave a voice note that has been worrying people, saying that, okay, the federal government has lifted the ban on Theobarth, and as the federal government has lifted ban on Theobarth, and the people are gathered at the Theobarth's office, jubilating, celebrating, and that disbursement will begin from Monday. Let me tell you, so many people, they come up to talk because they want people to hear them talk, not that they have substance. Theobarth is on course, and the idea of jubilating in Theobarth's office is not an issue of Wednesday alone. It has been on. It has been on. People who believe in Theobarth. Even that other day, that 500,000 was said that people should pay. How many people trooped to the office? People begging, please give me time, give me space, give me space. Also, Theobarth Global Foundation has been a thing of great momentum since time. Since time, the way that man spoke, it appears as if something strange has happened. No, things have been moving on. Things have been moving on. And him giving a specific date, Monday, that disbursement is going to start on Monday. We that are official broadcasters of Theobarth's event, we don't give date. And the principal, the CEO, has already said that he won't give date. He will just stay one day. In the morning, you wake up, you see your alert. That is the trend of events. If anybody comes up and give you a date, this date, it is going to happen. No, really, that person is a fabricator. What am I saying here? We are on course, but not the way that man was talking. Work is going on. As many things as are coming up, we are trying to clear them to make sure that at the end of the day, everybody gets what belongs to him. Before I draw the curtain here this morning, I may like to run through some questions that I feel might be disturbing people in their minds. Question number one. Some people may be saying, am I aware of your waiting for a very long time? Or am I unaware? Some people may be addressing me, being your elder statesperson. Are you aware that we have been waiting for a very long time? The answer is, I am aware. It's not that I am unaware of your waiting. Question number two. Do I like your waiting for this long? I don't. I don't like your waiting for this long. Question number three. Does Theo and other members of the Board of Trustees of Theobarth like your waiting for this long? No, they don't like it either. Question number four. Is it in the powers of Theo alone to make things happen as desired? No. Theo is a factor, and there are other factorial figures. Question number five. Will these bottlenecks from other action players continue infinitely? No. It won't continue infinitely. Question number six, and the final question for this series. How long do we still need to wait? How long do we still need to wait? Ladies and gentlemen, the how long, I am telling you, we are at the corridor of disbursement. We are at the corridor of disbursement. What has been hindering this young man is when he comes to a point, he feels that he has finished everything. And the next thing is disbursement. Before you know it, another thing will crop up. Another thing will crop up. Like today being Friday, everything may be set. And with the purview of disbursing on Monday, before Monday, some of these errand boys in government that feel they are important, and of course they are, as vested upon them from the federal government. So, okay, come do this, come do this, come do that. And you wanting not to stress the string, which may give you a bad landing, would like to make sure that everywhere is settled. That has been the problem. But what I stand here to tell you, how long we are already around the corner. And that is why people are arranging for prayers. There are sometimes you need prayers when you come to a point that you are confused. You come to a point that you really need divine attention. You go into prayers. There are some certain things that God and Him alone can do. Doesn't mean that I am trying to say that we don't know the time of disbursement. That is not what I am saying. That is not what I'm saying. Get me very clear. Let me take your mind to the Bible. In the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and 7, if you read them, the children of Israel, they got into a point of high impoverishment. Hunger of the highest order, as never seen in the history of Israel, struck Israel to the point that there were two women who agreed together to boil their children and eat. There were no yams to eat, there were no beans, there were no rice, there were no wheat, and several others. And the only option left for them is to boil their children and eat. Because they came to the conclusion that if we watch ourselves, both us and our children will die. And we would have said, let our children kill us and boil us and eat so that they can live. But they won't be able to prepare us. So we that are able to prepare these children, let's kill them and eat them so that the strength of the energy can sustain us for the next few hours before we die. They came into an agreement. They killed one of the women's children, and they ate it up. The next day, they were to kill another woman's child, but the energy was still in her. Hunger has not yet come. But the other woman that they killed the child, because the child was no more, the spate of hunger skyrocketed. And she desired that they killed the child of the older woman. But when they came, the other woman, since she was not yet hungry, refused. And they brought the matter to the king. When the king listened to the matter, he said, we have a prophet in the land, and these things are happening. Now, tomorrow, God do so to me if the head of Prophet Elisha is still on him. The messengers came and told him, and Elisha now say, yes, of course, it's my fault. But I come up now to tell you that by this time tomorrow, the prices of food would be reduced and food would be plenty in the land of Israel. That is the summation of what he said. But there was one doubter there, an officer in the king's guard. He said, even if windows in heaven will open, will this be possible? Then the prophet told him, you will see it, but you will not partake in it. You know the rest of the story. On the following day, God made the Syrians to hear a noise. But that time, Syria was very rich. There was pleasure in the land of Syria. And when they were sleeping in the night, God made them to hear a noise of war. And what came to their mind was that the king of Israel has hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians. And all of them, they took to their heels and ran for their lives and forgot anything at all. And they left. And the lepers at the gate, 4 of them, they say, why do we stay here still? If we continue to stay here, we will die. Let's just fall into the hands of the Syrians. Let them kill us. And when they went there, you know the rest of the story. There was abundance of food. After the lepers had gone and gathered enough, they say, let us not do this. We are not doing well. Let's go and tell our brothers. Then they went to the Israelites, told them, and they came and they started gathering. And from the trunks and the struggling, they marched over that king's guard, and he died. So you that you are a believer of this Theobarth grant is what has never been. That some people would reason, if God would open the windows of heaven, will this happen? Me, I believe that it will happen. You too, you believe that will happen. God that caused a noise in the camp of the Syrians is still there. He has not died. And as so many people are creating these bottlenecks, it will soon be over. And we are already there. If you believe, you will eat the fruits of your faith. But if you don't believe, you will perish. That is the standard of the Bible. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to faint in your faith. God has come to change your life. Except you are a useless person. If you are not a useless person, what Theobarth has brought will change your life permanently. I want you to believe it, and as you believe it, stand by your faith. You will touch Theobarth's grant. You will use Theobarth's grant. Theobarth's grant will change your life. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to believe that this waiting will continue infinitely. No, as so many people are, or as some people insinuate, don't feel like that. Be positive. We are already here. We have come to the point whereby noise will be caused in the camp of those who cause bottlenecks, and your miracle will be assessed. Those of you who are praying, continue in your prayer. Your prayer will work. Your prayer will work. As so many as say, okay, we have prayed enough. You have not prayed enough. Because this lot that is coming your way is a big one that will change your life completely. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, relax. We are almost there. A hunter that goes to the wild to bring meat home will not tell everything he sees in the jungle. He will not tell everything he sees in the jungle. But what I stand here to tell you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, God will preserve your life. Nothing will happen to any one of you. We are almost there. Continue in your prayer. Good morning.